Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Texas 4000 2020 team's live stream of ride dedications this morning. We appreciate you joining us, and we hope you'll make ride dedications on the Facebook comments and YouTube comments this morning with our riders. I want to have our riders join us now. Welcome this morning to Claire, Lindsay, and Sia. Good morning, everybody. Great to see you. See if you want to unmute your mic.
There you go. Morning.
There we go. Good morning. Well, thank you for joining this morning for ride dedications. Again, welcoming everybody on the live stream to make their ride dedications. We'll get things clicked off. I wanted to say hello to all of you, but we'll kick things off with the video to let people know what ride dedications mean to you and your team.
Texas 4000 is the largest annual charity bike ride that takes place every summer from Austin to Anchorage, Alaska, with the purpose of spreading our mission of hope, knowledge, and charity in the fight against cancer. A ride dedication is a way that we start a lot of our meetings or a lot of our rides. This is when we dedicate a ride or a part of our ride to somebody who has been in some way affected by cancer.
A ride dedication is motivation to me because when I'm going up a steep hill or it's been a really long ride, the ride dedications that I hear from my teammates and myself are the reasons that I keep riding.
Due to the current circumstances surrounding COVID-19, it's no longer safe for us to do our typical bicycle ride from Austin, Texas to Anchorage, Alaska. So instead, we've decided to do things virtually this summer.
So we will be having our cycling events virtually. We will be engaging with our community virtually.
A virtual ride dedication works largely the same way as a normal ride dedication. Before every meeting or before every virtual ride, you would say, I ride for this person. And if you want to, you can go into a little bit more detail about how that person touched your life.
You can submit your ride dedications via 3 different platforms. You can submit a ride dedication via the Texas 4000 webpage. You can join our Facebook live stream, or you can join our Zoom calls.
The virtual ride will be going on from May 29th to June 26th, and ride dads will be held before host interactions in the afternoon and at 7:30 to 8 a.m. Central Time every morning.
Thank you so much for participating.
Join us at texas4000.org. Together we can make a difference.
Well, welcome back, ladies. Want to get things started on ride dedications this morning and just remind everybody that they can go to YouTube to make ride dedications. They can go to Facebook Live and make ride dedications as well. We'll start things off by Claire. Why don't you get things started with your ride dedication this morning as we wait for those to come in on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I wanted to give a ride dead to a man named Shin Isaka, or Isaka. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but he was a father in my hometown, and I didn't have the privilege of knowing him or his family, but I just found out that about a week ago, he was cycling in the afternoon and was hit and killed by a drunk driver. And I'm just thinking a lot about his family, and I know that he's an avid cyclist and he participates in a lot of charity bike rides in Columbus. So just thinking about the cycling and cancer communities at large, and of course his family right now.
Claire, thanks for sharing that. And Lindsay, do you have any ride dedications you'd like to make this morning?
Yeah, this week I've been cycling. I've been thinking a lot about our teammate Colin Schroeder and his family in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He lost his mom this week to a 7-year battle with colon cancer. So I've been riding for him this week and just thinking about his family, mourning with them their loss.
As we all are, Lindsay. Sia, any ride dedications you'd like to share this morning?
Yeah, I also want to ride for Colin and his family. Privilege of meeting his mother in a meeting last semester, and I know that they're going through a really hard time right now, so I just want to ride for them. And I also want to ride for the person that I joined Texas 4000 for, my mentor, Mike Young. He has been doing well since he recovered from esophageal cancer. He's still cancer free, and I know that he loves celebrating that, so I always want to celebrate it every time I ride.
Thanks for sharing that, Sia. I also want to ride for Colin and his family, and also the families and 2 other riders that are alumni. I want to ride for Bailey and Jeremiah, who also both recently lost parents to cancer. They're all part of our big T4K family. We ride for all of them and their family members during this difficult time. So now I want to start. We've got some ride dedications coming in on Facebook Live, reminding everybody again, you can make them there and the riders will read them live on air. We'll get started with that. And Claire, if you want to get started with our first one.
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Kirsten, for your comment, and we're writing for you.
Looks like we've got some other well wishes for you and your teammates here this morning. Thanks,
Thank
Peter.
you, Peter. Thanks, Carrie.
Oh, thanks, Carrie. Looks like a fellow cyclist.
Carrie is one of our Texas 4000 board members. Thanks, Carrie, for giving that shout out to the team this morning.
Good morning. I'm from Columbus.
And look what we got, Jefford as well.
Good morning.
I love Scorpion.
Here's a ride dedication for you.
We'll definitely ride for Pete, Jen, and Mark.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Just remember, you can make those ride dedications live on Facebook or YouTube this morning.
Yes, we are definitely riding for 2021. They give us a lot of hope as the next team. We're super excited.
We'll definitely be riding for Arlene, Mark, and Frank.
For sure, we'll ride for Ed. Thanks, Wes.
Wes also is one of our board members at Texas 4000. Thank you guys for riding for Ed and for him today.
Thanks, Sarah. We're very proud and excited about the new jerseys.
I'm not wearing mine yet. I'm going back to Austin on Wednesday, so I'll get mine.
It's worth the wait.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kate Bomar, alumni of the organization, who helped design your jerseys this year. She's been great.
Oh wow, I haven't heard the name of the designer yet. So
we love Kate.
Amazing job.
She's also the sweetest person in the world. So two in one there. We love Kate.
Awesome.
Another ride dedication here.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that about Jennifer. We will be riding for her.
Yeah.
We'll absolutely be riding for him.
Yeah, Sarah, thank you for bringing that one forward. And not sure that everyone on 2020 knows. In honor and memory of Ruel, there is a tree planted in a park in Alaska post the finish for his year that we visit every year when we go for the finish of the next summer ride. Always to remind ourselves of Ruel. So thank you, Sarah, for reminding us of that this morning. Again, you can make your ride dedications live on Facebook or YouTube. Claire, if you might be able to share just a little bit about people that you've met while you're panhandling, or why on one of your many training rides that might have shared something with you that stuck with you as a ride dedication.
Yeah, so I remember most vividly, or what just popped into my head right now, was actually the shortest ride we've ever been on. But when we first got our bikes and we did our training. Oh, why am I forgetting the name of it? Our training weekend where we learned how to clip in and figuring out how to ride on these road bikes. And of course, for our teammates who had never ridden any bikes before, we had alumni and staff there just helping us out. And then once we were feeling comfortable enough, a group of about 5 of us went out with some alumni. And I think we did like a 1.5 or 2 mile loop just around Hyde Park in that area. And a family stopped us, and they mentioned that their daughter rode, and they mentioned that she's been riding for her roommate who passed away from cancer. And it was just like so impactful to hear from them. And then from then on, every single ride or every single time we go out panhandling, it feels like we meet somebody new who either knows about Texas 4000 or can join our family and share with us somehow about someone we can be riding for. So it was crazy that the very first time I went out, we already were, seeing the impact of this. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure that happens every time you go out on a training ride. You meet people every time you panhandle. Lindsay, before I kind of ask you that question, I let you read the next ride dedication that's come through. Looks like we've got a comment. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, working hard to stay active even virtually. A little more complicated, but we're still enjoying the fight.
Yeah. Lindsay, is there anything that stands out with your training rides or panhandling or your time with the P4K where people have shared ride dedications that have stuck with you?
Yeah, I think being in Texas 4000, I'm sure a lot of people can echo this thought, but it opens up a lot of new conversations because people recognize that you're, kind of in the fight against cancer. And so then I've had a lot of friends open up to me about their parents having cancer, whether they survived or passed away. I had a new roommate. She came in just for like a short amount of time, and she opened up to me about her mom and how she had battled cancer when my roommate was really young. And stuff like that. And that's always been really impactful to get to, I guess, be a person people feel like they can talk to about something really hard in their life because of Texas 4000. And so I've been really thankful to have that opportunity that they can open up.
That's great. Looks like we have some well wishes for you, Sia.
Mm-hmm.
Sia, you're in that picture.
Oh, yeah. My family is watching this morning. A lot of my family is out here, so shout out. Thank you all for waking up.
Sweet.
Yes, welcome, family. Thanks for coming in this morning early for ride dedications. And see, is there anything with your time in Texas 4000 that stands out as well, ride dedication that you've heard and that stuck with you?
I definitely just want to echo what Lindsay and Claire said about both just being a part of Texas 4000 makes us have this voice, I guess, for ride dedications, and people feel comfortable to share those with us. And that's just such an incredible honor to be able to ride for someone that we met in a gas station or someone that we met panhandling on the side of the road, someone we never would have met otherwise. It means a lot to me to be able to ride for people that are going through and affected by cancer. So for me, I know one story that I remember it was like the coldest morning I was ever biking. We were doing a Round Rock route in 2018, and I thought my fingers were going to freeze off. We really just wanted to give up. Like, we shouldn't. It was awful. It was so cold. We stopped at a gas station for a little bit longer just to kind of warm up and get used to things. And an elderly gentleman came up to us and told us that he was riding for himself and his family members. And it just really motivated us to keep going. Like, it's not about whether it's cold or whether it's hard to bike. It's why we're doing this and that we're riding for people that need us to ride for them. So it was really encouraging. And moments like that have just kind of really gotten me through the past few years in Texas 4000.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Sia. Claire, we have a ride dedication here.
We'll definitely be riding for Simone and Lynn. Thank you.
And Lisa is going to be joining us, as well as Keith Wilkins, in our next hour from Corp. So thank you, Lisa, for the ride dedication this morning. And Lindsay, here's one for you as well.
Hi, Denise. Yes, we will definitely be riding for Paulette and your father-in-law, as well as Mike. That sounds incredibly difficult, but we're honored to ride for them.
Del, hello. We will definitely ride for Aaron Samuels and for Steve and Marvin, Ariane, Sue, and Denise, and all the people that you ride for, Del. We love you.
and Claire, and to all of you really, but I'll start with Claire. Your teammates share ride dedications along with you every Monday night at team meetings throughout the whole year, the whole school year. And so we as staff get to hear all of them. I know there's been many that I've heard that just touch my heart in just hearing you relay the stories, but is there something from a teammate that really made an impression on you and hearing that as well during your time?
I don't know if I can choose just one. There's so many. I think we all can agree that we were constantly sort of almost not waiting, but always ready to hear updates from Nikki about her sister throughout her battle. She's one of our teammates, and her sister's been sick for a while now. And so I think every Monday, or not every Monday, but we were hearing from Nikki quite frequently about, what the current status was with her sister. And so I think everybody on our team was always looking forward to hearing about that, because we, of course, are, here for her during her fight and thinking about her family.
Yeah, that is true. Definitely for everyone on the team. I know our staff, and I relayed that always to our board members after team members gave updates on family members, that we all continue to ride for them as well. And, it is good to hear good news on how those things progress, because we all want that. We want to, as this is Cancer Survivors Month, we want everybody to be a cancer survivor here.
Absolutely.
Lindsay, is there anything that stands out for you as well?
Yeah, two ride dedications come to mind that I just remember really having an effect on the entire team, and me especially. It was when Bryn told us that her father had just been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. That was really hard, because in the middle of, she'd been a member of Texas 4000, I guess, for about a year when that happened. And it was, my understanding is that it was pretty sudden and unexpected. So, yeah, I just always have her in my mind. And then also for Brian, I remember when the gentleman that he rides for passed away in the middle of his training year as well. And I remember when he told us about that, and that was another just really hard day. Like watching your teammates. One of the sweet things is that they can open up emotionally, but it's also it's just hard to watch people you love be in pain.
Agreed. I know for me, hearing at your late ride meetings before things happened for us here with COVID, riders sharing how that was affecting family members who were diagnosed with cancer in other parts of the world already, where they weren't able to get to treatment, and what was going on, and the worry of your teammates for their extended family members across the globe that were already being affected. And as that came to the US, that was one of the things that was in my mind, if like the cancer patients who are battling every day, how are they going to, deal with this and be able to get their treatment and live life in a safe way? Just another hurdle in their way beyond cancer. So definitely ride for all of them. We've got some more ride dedications, Sia. I'm going to pull one up.
Yeah. Hi, Michelle. We will definitely ride for Michael. Esophageal cancer is awful, and I'm really sorry to hear that he was affected by that. And also his wife, Erin. Sorry, I just saw that. Hi, Wes. We'll also be riding for Sean as well.
And thanks for joining us today.
Claire, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, hey, Andrea. We love you. She's one of our teammates, and we'll definitely be riding for Kira. And for your friend's uncle Henry, or John. Sorry.
Thank you, Paige.
Hey, Paige. Thanks.
I echo that, Paige. It does take tremendous dedication. I mean, I think as you heard Lindsay say, our riders put so much time and effort into this, and then to have a family member diagnosed with cancer, all that takes on, and still to continue that dedication to this organization, as well as deal with all that goes on in your personal lives. I just, you all inspire me every day to keep this organization moving forward.
That's what I wanted to say too. My favorite part about meeting has been, oh, hello, Colin. Just saw your message. Of course, we'll definitely ride for your mom, Terry. We love you guys so much.
Yeah, I think we're all riding for you every single day.
Mhm.
Yes, we are.
That was-
Been thinking about you a lot.
Yeah.
Colin, he's also served as the excuse me, business development coordinator for our team, and he's just been a really fantastic leader. He's the only grad student on our team, so he's had a very mature presence, and we're all really thankful for Colin.
Yeah, we would not be as far as we are without him. So
No,
He's done a
we wouldn't have
tremendous
this
job.
far without him.
yes, I know.
See, you were going to share something just before Colin's message.
Yeah, I was also going to say I wanted to ride for Colin. His ride dedications during meetings were always updates that I know our team always wanted to hear from. So we loved hearing those, and we always will. But I also wanted to say what you were saying, Scott. I think it's really, a lot of our teammates during ride dedications will share anniversaries of the passings of friends or family members or loved ones. And I know that that's incredibly hard. That's one of the hardest days that I can't even imagine. That it's really difficult to be not with your family or your friends or your loved ones that knew that person when you're going through something like that. So to be with us and share that memory on during Monday meetings just means a lot. And I always feel so honored to hear that. I always wish during ride dedications we could just like stop, do a big group hug, and then like go back to meeting and ride updates. But I think silence is also really powerful sometimes because it allows us to think about it and really understand why we're doing this, and give us some time to reflect.
I couldn't agree with you more, and I think it's one of the most beautiful parts about the organization is that everywhere, not just with your team meetings, but with our staff meetings, our board meetings, we start every get together with ride dedications to remind us of our mission and why we're all putting the time in and doing what we do every day, and why it's so important that it's not just a blanket statement. There's real people involved in everyone's life, in each one of ours. We have another ride dedication here from Lisa.
and oh, of course. Yeah, we'll be writing for Chris Condit. None of us would be here without him.
That's true.
Always writing for our founder, Chris Condit. We just had the privilege of meeting with Oshner, where Chris was treated as a young child, and that was a really motivating event.
Oshner's a great partner with Texas 4000, and we're so proud to support the efforts that they do in the fight against cancer in New Orleans and Louisiana.
Yeah.
Got some well wishes here for you guys.
Hello, Portia. Thank you so much. Portia has been one of the most supportive people. Every time I post something about Texas 4000, she's been in my DMs supporting me the entire way on Instagram. So I love you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Well, we've got a minute or so left, so we'll give you time to get on your bikes and get ready for the next hour. Are there any last ride dedications, folks? You can put them in on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and we'll get them in. And then we're going to let the riders transition to get on their bikes for the hour cycling with their teammates today. I thank you all three for, again, joining for the ride dedications this morning. I know how important it is to you and your teammates, to all of us, to be able to ride for everyone and their family members in the fight against cancer and continue this effort up. So thank you to all of you. I look forward to you being on the bike this morning with your teammates, and for our special guests from Sense Corp, Pete Wilkins and Lisa Marlowe, to join us. And you have a couple friends from Sense Corp as well that are joining your teammates on the Zoom ride today, Wes Carberry and Jonathan Gard from Sense Corp as well. So again, everyone, we're going to take a little time out while the riders transition to their bikes for the morning ride, but we encourage you to put down your cup of coffee, hop on your bike with them this morning and ride along for an hour, get our exercise in early this morning before we get the day started. So thank you all. We'll see you very shortly.
Thanks, Scott.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Texas 4000's live stream of the 2020 Summer Ride presented by Abbott, our virtual ride this summer. Want to welcome back to the live stream Claire, Lindsay, and Sia, now all on their bikes this morning. Welcome back, ladies.
Hi, thanks.
Hello.
Hello again. It seems like such a short time since we were talking. Well, let's get things started, because in the last hour we were doing, or last half hour we were doing ride dedications, but let's let everybody know a little bit more about each of you. So I'm going to start off with Claire. Claire, if you could just tell a little bit more about yourself and give people a little background on why you got in Texas 4000.
Yeah, so I am a marketing student from Ohio.
And Claire, if you could just speak up a little bit more. You're a little far away from the mic.
Totally, yeah. I'm a rising senior here at my last year. And I'm originally from Ohio. I'm writing for, and I'm a journalism major. What else can I share? Oh, I'm an Ozarks rider, so I would have been riding through the Midwest and the Cancer Belt this summer. But one of the original reasons why I ride is for a very close family friend and her son. Her name's Janet DeRoberts, and her son is named Hayden. And he battled acute myeloid leukemia for a total of 5 years. And so I was fortunate to get to know Janet during that time, and she became like a second mother to me, and she just means the world to me. So it was really hard to see her, support her son during his battle. And unfortunately, when he passed away in 2016, it was on her and on all of us. So just always riding for the Roberts family.
Thanks for sharing that. We're going to go to Sia. Sia, why don't you share a little bit about yourself and who you ride for, why you joined Texas 4000?
Yeah, so my name is Sia. I'm a senior mechanical engineering student. I actually joined Texas 4000 back in 2016. I originally was on the 2018 team, and I ended up deferring a couple of times to be on 2020. So when I joined in 2016, I was a freshman in college, just learning about Texas 4000 and all the opportunities that I could have. And I wanted to ride for my mentor from high school, Mike Young. I've mentioned his name a few times. I'm sure my teammates have heard it. But he was diagnosed with esophageal cancer when I met him in my senior year of high school. And it was difficult for him because he was always a really positive person, and this was a very serious thing for him to be going through. But I always had hope because he remained hopeful and he remained cheerful. He used to send us newsletter updates, kind of like an email update every week. And I would ride for him every week when he would send those, just to let us know how his treatment was going at MD Anderson and if there was anything that we could do or pray for him. So his letters always gave me hope. And when I saw that hope was one of the 3 pillars of Texas 4000, I really wanted to ride for him and his honor.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you riding in honor of him as well. Lindsay, let's turn things over to you now. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you joined Texas 4000.
Yeah, so I just graduated from UT with a degree in accounting, and I joined, can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yes, we can hear you.
I joined Texas 4000. I wanted to join my freshman year, actually. My dad, when I was a junior in high school, was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma, and that had a huge effect just on my family and my life throughout high school and then into college. But I was definitely intimidated by Texas 4000. Didn't really think, that it was something that I could do from like an emotional standpoint. Talking about your family's cancer story sometimes can be super difficult. So then junior year, when I realized like this was my last chance and I wanted to join Texas 4000, I had to give it a shot. So I ended up applying, and it's really been an incredible decision, both for me and my family, and just getting to ride in their honor, and like the strength and the, as hard as that cancer journey was for my family, it's been great to honor that battle.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thanks for sharing your personal story of cancer in your family. And I think that is one of the things that stands out to me for all of you, that you learn from developing your friendships within Texas 4000 and talking to people all across Austin, Central Texas, and back in your hometowns, how you learn to be vulnerable, that you find out on street corners, people in the change of a light will open up their heart to you and share very personal things, I think just shows the testament to what our mission is and our message is. I hear you writers share those stories and just how amazed sometimes you are of people, what they share with you. So I applaud all of you again for being vulnerable to people. We're going to jump in now. We're going to invite your friends in and our special guests. So let's bring them into the room. Everyone over on Zoom who's cycling with us this morning. Good morning, writers, and our special guests from Corp today. You can see them upper top. Wes Carberry's in the center at the top. The bottom right on the screen is Jonathan Gard from Corp as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining the team this morning for a nice hour-long morning ride. I'm not sure if they can hear us, but I hope they can. If you can, give us a wave this morning. Yes, they can. Well, we'll leave them up for a little while we start off with some questions so people can learn a little bit more about Texas 4000, our mission to fight cancer, and more about you and your teammates and the whole program. Reminding people, like it says at the bottom of the screen, you can donate to Texas 4000 at texas4000.org to support the 2020 team. If you enjoyed today's program and you're touched by the ride dedications and this hour program, getting to know these riders, please go there, make a donation. You can make a ride dedication on our website as well. If you're not able to join in the morning, we'll get those on. Looks like we've got some messages as well, so I'm going to pop those up on the screen. Some well wishes to you.
Mark. Thanks, Mark. Is that Tony's family?
It is. It is Tony's family.
Thanks for being here.
Mark's been super active on all the live stream events.
Yes. Oh, that must be Austin's family. Oh, yes.
We're definitely riding for Austin's grandfathers.
Awesome.
Yes. Austin just shaved his head, which is pretty. It's pretty cool to see our teammates shaving their head for our Clip Out Cancer program.
That was great. And if anybody didn't catch Clip Out Cancer a week ago Saturday, they can go back and watch that. That is saved on Facebook and YouTube, so they can go back and see. I think there were 5 of your teammates that decided to shave their heads as for Clip Out Cancer, Austin being one of them, having grown his hair for a long time.
Yes.
Well, let's get started with some questions here, and we'll bring in the messages that are coming up as well. But Claire, just going to start with you on one. Can you tell us a little bit about how long the Texas 4000 Leadership Development Program is? And give us just a little bit more about what that journey is like.
Yeah, sure. So it's an 18-month program, essentially a 3-semester program for UT students. And so if you're looking to apply, you can only do it if you are going to be a student for the following year and a half, and will be in Austin, or in Austin to train during that time. So it's a long time coming. The first semester, what's called our onboarding semester, we spend most of our time volunteering and learning more about Texas 4000 and doing our personal fundraising and just getting really involved with the organization. And then the following fall is when we get our bikes and start more of the physical training. And the further we progress, the more we shift into biking and get ready for our summer ride. So it's been a really great experience, but to get to know everybody for so long, but yeah.
Really build some lifelong friendships as part of Texas 4000. So Lindsay, could you just share a little bit about, every rider on the Texas 4000 team has some requirements that they have to meet. Fundraising for the fight against cancer, volunteering in the community, and training even to get ready for a summer ride. And can you share just a little bit about what those are and kind of how you went about personally about each one of them?
Yeah, so each we have a couple different requirements, just like Scott mentioned. The volunteering requirement is broken up into 3 semesters, so you have to volunteer 25 hours in your 25 hours in your onboarding semester, and then 15 hours in that fall semester, and then 10 hours in what we call like that ride semester. So it does decrease as your biking requirements increase, which is really helpful. And volunteering was probably one of my favorite requirements, because both getting to engage with the community in the fight against cancer and getting to bond with my teammates we'd be up at like 5 a.m. headed to marathons or bike races or different community events around Austin. So that was a really bonding experience and then really fun because we generally wear our jerseys and people would run by or bike by or come up to our tables and talk to us about Texas 4000, and we'd hear more stories that we'd get to carry with us as we trained. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. And then the next requirement is fundraising. Each rider has to fundraise a minimum of $4,500. And that, sorry, what? Anyway, $4,500 before they leave for the ride. And that can be a mixture of panhandling or sending out letters, or some people get really creative. Like if you donate, $10, you can pick what color you dye my hair. If you donate $100, like one teammate maybe got a lip tattoo. Like people get kind of crazy with it. I did a raffle sale and ended up raising almost $1,000 by reaching out to different businesses within Austin, and they donated like a gift card to Mighty Pine or a gift card to Cabo Bob's, and then I raffled it off. And that was a super great way to fundraise. And then finally, we have a requirement of 2,000 training miles. So before you can leave for Alaska, you have to have logged 2,000 miles training on your bike. So that looked a little different for us this year as our training was cut short. Because a lot of our training has been shifted onto these indoor trainers, but we've definitely still been biking a lot.
Well, thanks for sharing just what it is to be committed to Texas 4000 and just, what it is you do to support the mission in the fight against cancer and get prepared for a summer ride. We talked last half hour in ride dedications about the personal things that go on in everyone's life, including you as riders. Schoolwork, family situations, whether they revolve around cancer or other things that might be going on, and layer in upon all of that the requirements to be part of the team. I think that's, again, another reason why I think you're all amazing young women and men that are part of this organization, and your commitment inspires me. I said it last half hour, I'll say it again. That's what keeps, I think, all of us going, is seeing all of you each year putting in all this effort, that we have to join you in that and continue that and make sure that we can reach as many people as we can in the fight against cancer. I'm going to bring back in your teammates into the stream here, because before I pull up the next message, Austin better be paying attention here. It looks like we've got a shout out for somebody's dad's birthday.
Aww.
I'm not sure if you could hear that, but happy birthday to Austin's dad. And again, you can continue to make ride dedications or post comments of encouragement to the 2020 team here. They are continuing this journey all the way through June 26th in the fight against cancer, taking the summer ride virtual. Sia, I'm going to come to you now. And if you might be able to just share a little bit about your role on the team. I know there's a lot of leadership roles. You could share about the role that you've played, and maybe talk to what all the roles are, because you all play some kind of leadership role in getting things ready for the summer ride and preparing each week for team meetings on all kinds of different things that go on within the organization. Whoops. And let's unmute you here, Sia. Oops, your mic is muted. Oh, Sia, your mic is muted. Well, we'll skip on for just a second. Claire, maybe you could tell a little bit about your role.
Yeah, sure. So when I first started, I was lucky to be a volunteer coordinator on that first onboarding semester. And that was a really great experience, not only just to get to know my fellow coordinators and just get to know people on the team, but also get really engaged with the community and learn more about why we're doing this and meet so many people that we're riding for every day. And then later this year, I've been involved in the programs team as well as the committee for NPR, our media and public relations. So I've just been really involved with a lot of different small projects, and it's shown me just how much work gets put into this organization. And so it's been a really great time.
That's awesome. See, I see your mic is now unmuted. Do you want to go
Yes.
ahead and share a little bit about your role within the organization? Talk a little bit more about leadership overall.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of different roles.
Yeah, sorry, I've been having some technical issues, but we're getting it figured out. Some of you may know Texas 4000 is a leadership development program. So we emphasize 7 pillars of leadership. I believe it's 7. The pillars of leadership and just like foundational skills to becoming a good leader. So in our team, we have the 3 ride directors, 1 for each route. They also have assistant ride directors. So essentially there's about 6 ride directors in total, 2 for each route, I guess. And then the ride directors also lead up a committee. Sorry, my words are all getting jumbled in my head. The chairs, so every Sunday they have leadership meetings where there's different chairs devoted to different things like volunteering, fundraising. What are some of the other ones? Business development, things like that, basically. And each of the chairs then have their own committees where other members of the team have the opportunity to be involved with leadership. So personally, I was on the travel committee and the gears committee. So the travel committee is, our chairs are Peyton, Devika, and Rachel, and they're wonderful. And so I was on Ozarks travel, and as a travel committee, our job is to plan the summer ride for hosts and secure food, bike shops, hospital, making sure that we have every day planned out as much as we can. And so my favorite part about being on travel is just getting to interact with hosts, getting to send those like initial emails to hosts that we've never met before, or getting to send return emails to hosts that have been longtime supporters of our organization. So it's always just a really wonderful experience to call and talk to hosts and just hear how much they support us. We really love all of our hosts across all 3 routes for doing everything they can to accommodate a team of like 27 sweaty bikers every summer. So it means a lot for us. And then I'm also on Gears Committee, which is a fairly new committee in Texas 4000 devoted to mental health awareness. I may not be the right spokesperson for that, but Gears Committee is really important to me because I think, especially for me being in Texas 4000 for so long, it is a really wonderful program, but it is also a really big part of our lives as riders between school and Texas 4000 and just all of our other personal commitments. I think it's really important to realize that mental health is important and we should consider it as we're doing our bike rides, ride dedications, everything. So I've loved being on Gears Committee because it just allows me to like bond with the team, help understand my teammates more, and see if there's anything I can do, if anyone needs any help or just needs a friend to talk to. So yeah, Gears and travel are what I'm involved in.
Well, I appreciate you giving the shout out for
Yeah.
Gears. We all believe mental health is very important, and we know that we're not all born with the skills to be able to handle every situation, and we're not necessarily taught that as we grow up. Our parents and others in our lives may not have those skills to impart to us as well. And as I always say, with everything we do in life, we go to people to fix our cars and to do other things to, that have the skills to do that. There is nothing wrong with us reaching out to professionals to help us find our path and move forward and be able to support each other. And I think that's what I admire about the team. Again, you take on so much, but finding your way and making sure that each of you can support in some way or find the people who can help support in some way, as we do with training camp and so many different things within the organization. Yeah. Claire, so let's give a quick shout out first to folks on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. If you have questions or ride dedications, please certainly, make those in a comment and we will certainly pull those up on screen. Claire, I want to come to you with our next question. Just, what is something important that you've learned personally through being part of Texas 4000's program?
So we touched on this a little bit already because it's so, it's something that impacts everyone, I think, but I've definitely learned the importance of being vulnerable and sharing stories. I think a lot of people on our team, are dealing with, they've had family members who are either currently battling or have battled in the past. And so it's just been a wonderful experience to be able to have tough conversations with so many of our teammates and the Texas 4000 community at large. And and it's just taught me so much about, what being vulnerable can do. It opens up a really great conversation and raises awareness about, a lot of great things. So it's just taught me to be honest and open about my story, because the more I share, the more others share, and I think it's a great thing to be doing.
I couldn't agree more. And just a reminder to everybody, thank you, one, for sharing that, Claire, but a reminder, everybody, continue to make your comments and your ride dedications on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. If you are able, like some of our riders on the team, to safely cycle outdoors, we encourage you to share your posts with a photo or a short video of someone else is taking it while you're cycling, and use the hashtags T4K Rides On, or as you're doing, hashtag Ride with T4K. Show your support for the 2020 team. Those posts with those hashtags go into our social wall on our website, and all the riders will be able to see those encouraging words and posts that you're sharing with us. So we encourage everyone who's getting outdoors, or even on your stationary bike, to have someone take a picture of you. You can share that as well. Come to Lindsay now. Lindsay, it's kind of the same question. Just, what have you learned personally that's important from the program as a leader?
Well, I think the program has, like Sia was talking about, all the different leadership opportunities. So it's taught me a lot about different ways to lead, because we have the obvious kind of president-like roles in our organization, in our ride directors, and so they lead kind of everything, but then we have kind of smaller leadership roles where you can get really specific into what you are passionate about. So like she mentioned, gears, we have David and Alex on that committee who are really invested in mental health and really want to be there for our teammates. And then I've served on the business development committee because as a business student, that's something that I was really interested in. So I was excited to see that we had a leadership platform for that. And then the travel committee and the programs committee, I think, are also really interesting ways to serve because they're more, rather than traditional leadership roles, they're more servant leadership roles because they require a lot of extra work and time, lots of research, contacting hosts, doing routing, which means literally going on Google Maps and, foot by foot, making sure that the routes that we take to Alaska are safe. So it's a lot of extra work, but very cool to see and to know that the leadership on our team has that servant heart. And that's been a really valuable lesson to learn.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Sia, we've got a ride dedication here as well. I'm going to pop up on the screen.
Oh yeah, for sure, Kristen. We will ride for Eric Mulligan. Thank you for sharing.
Looks like we also have some words of encouragement here.
Hey Scott, I guess my computer wasn't charging last night, so it says it's about to die on me. So I'm about to go grab my charger and plug it in.
Okay, Claire. We'll see you back in just a moment. Well, we'll take Claire off the screen for just a second. Let her do that. We have another word of encouragement here, Sia.
Thank you. He's sitting in the kitchen watching it with his headphones on. Thank you.
Well, we'll bring your compadres back up on from the Zoom call back on screen with the two of you. And just look at them continuing to bike there with our special guest from Corp.
Yeah.
We're going to have very shortly at around 8:30, Keith Wilkins and Lisa Marlowe on with you from Corp. Keeps the CEO. Lisa helps head up everything for the riders' visits when they come to town as our host, as Corp plays host in St. Louis. We're excited to have them join us, and we appreciate their employees, team members joining today to cycle with the team. I'm going to quickly ask you a question. Sia, let's go to one just kind of can you tell a little bit about the three routes? There's three routes for your team, and people watching today might not know about that for the summer travel that we normally have when we physically ride. So if you could share that.
Yeah. So we have three routes that we take from Austin all the way to Alaska. I'll start with the leftmost one, or the westmost one, sorry. That is Sierra. And basically they go kind of along the West Coast through the densely populated areas of California, like San Francisco, I think possibly even San Diego, all the way up through like Oregon and Seattle, and then kind of along the like western edge of Canada until we get to Alaska. And then there's Ozarks on the very east. We've been known as the route that goes east before they go west. So we go kind of, this year actually, we were planning to go all the way to Nashville and Atlanta to really engage with the communities in those areas, because those areas in Nashville and sometimes in the South areas, they can have very high cancer rates. It is the highest cancer rates in the country, and we like to be able to interact with people from there and give our ride dedications and give programs as well across the 3 routes, especially on the Ozarks route. And then the other route that is right in the middle is the Rockies route. They kind of go straight up through Texas, through Dallas, and then all the way straight basically through the Colorado Mountains and the Rocky Mountains until they hit Alaska. So yeah, those are our 3 routes. Not sure what else to say about them at the moment, but all 3 routes interact with hosts along the way. All 3 routes get a little bit of camping and time to learn about that and spend time outside. We all give programs where we talk to smaller communities about cancer prevention methods. And all 3 routes give grant recipients at hospitals. We do hospital tours and lots of amazing opportunities across all 3 routes. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot to put out there. Ozarks route, I think really stands out just in the sense that it came on a little later to the organization. We started with Sierra and Rockies, and Ozarks really came about from wanting to be even more mission focused and hit the areas of the country that are hard hit by cancer, as we kind of often refer to as the cancer belt. And I just applaud all of you that, select that route to want to be mission focused and touch those lives of people who are really facing difficult times with cancer diagnosis in their families. Very shortly, we're going to have Lisa and Keith from Sense Corp on screen with us to answer questions and talk about their involvement in supporting Texas 4000 and your team, your route as you come through St. Louis on a normal fiscal ride. We'll do a few more comments here before we get to that. It looks like we got some well wishes this morning. I'll pull those up.
Thank you.
I think Fred's been watching several nights during your broadcast. I've seen his messages come across the screen. Looks like there's some more people watching Sia to support you.
Yeah, we sent a broadcast to my family last night. So it looks like a lot of my family members are here. So thank you all for watching. You're one of the biggest reasons I ride. So thank you all.
And one more here as well.
That's my aunt. That's my aunt. She's been watching even when I'm not riding. She's very devoted. Thank you, Manama.
Well, I am excited to bring into the live stream with us today our friends and supporters from Sense Corp. And now I will bring on Keith Wilkins, CEO of Sense Corp, along with Lisa Marlowe. Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Can you see me?
Yeah, in this age of distancing, we work together. We haven't communicated.
Well, welcome both of you to the live stream this morning. We really appreciate it. I'll just start off by just kind of giving the floor to both of you to tell a little bit about yourselves and the support to Texas 4000. Keith, I know you've been involved with Texas 4000 for a very long time. Your company was our founding sponsor. You've been a board member with the organization, so you have an intimate knowledge of us. But if you might want to share a little bit about your involvement with us.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us on, Scott. Every day is a little better when you get to be part of a Texas 4000 event, no doubt. So I think pictured over my shoulder is a jersey from 2006, which means I met the Texas 4000 sometime probably in 2005 or around that time. And a partner of mine, Jimmy Shoddy, kept suggesting that you should get to know this organization. Being a UT alum, as is he thought it would be of interest, and he was just taken with this young man he had met, Chris Condit, and I was resistant. But over the course of time, Jimmy wore me down, and I came to Austin for a presentation where Jeremy Schwartz and Chris, kind of told me what the organization was about, and then asked for a sponsorship. And I was in the moment taken away. I was just overwhelmed by the audacity of the task at hand, at the Goliath of an issue the organization was challenging in fighting cancer, the longest charity biker, and of course Chris himself, right? So I immediately said, I don't want this average kind of sponsorship. We want to be germane to helping this organization grow and build its capabilities. And of course, as we look at the organization now, it has grown leaps and bounds, not only in terms of a ride, but in terms of a true leadership development program for the young people. It's been very gratifying. And Lisa, you came in sometime during that as well, right?
I did. This would have been my 5th year putting this all together.
Well, Lisa, I know you just said about putting this all together. Could you tell us a little bit about what hosting involves? It's more than just a place to stay when writers roll into St. Louis. And I know from having been there to see what you and Sense Corp employees and the community put together, it's absolutely amazing. But could you just share a little bit more about your experience with doing that and what it also means to you?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's really easy to do when you see those riders come around the corner into our parking lot, and there's a whole, just 20 of them coming in at one time. It's pretty impactful. It's pretty incredible. So as far as putting it together, I do start in February, securing their place to stay, which is the Maplewood Richmond Heights High School, who have done an incredible job of hosting them every year. They provide showers and bathrooms, and they even have somebody that does their laundry for them when they're there. So, I think that's wonderful. And then putting together all the meals and talking to restaurants. And I got to tell you, when I call a restaurant and I tell them why I'm calling, tell them who you are, tell them all about the Texas 4000 and what they do, their first reaction is, no, wait a minute, who is this? What are you talking about? What do you mean they ride 4,500 miles? I'm like, well, I go into the whole thing, and then they're like, well, how can we help? I'm like, well, they're going to be going out for lunch one day, and we'd love to host them. Have them come here. We'll have all the pizza, and that's Felix's Pizza, and that they just do a great job and just are really dedicated to the whole team. And then another fun thing that we do when they do ride in on their bikes is we give them a welcome barbecue at our office. And Scott, you've been to our office, and Pete, obviously you created our office. So it's an amazing space and just a fun environment, and very relaxed. So when they come, they know they can be themselves. They're very comfortable, and everybody in our organization that meets them are just so, well, they're blown away after they talk to them for 2 minutes. But they're very welcoming, to all the riders. And so I think that makes the riders feel comfortable. And then they just do a great job on just speaking on what they're doing and why they're doing it. So anyway, we have the barbecue, and then we have a group of drivers. Tina Hilliard and her friends, they pick all of the kids up from the high school, and they take them out for the day. This is on their rest day. And they take them to the hospital visits. They take them to lunch. They take them to a local actually world famous ice cream place called Ted Drew's. Sometimes they've gone down to the zoo, which we have an amazing zoo, and just other things. And then they come back to our office, and we do a fundraiser dinner for them. And we have typically probably 50 to 75 people, sometimes 100 people that attend the dinner. There's 2 local chefs that provide the dinner for us, Aaron Teitelbaum and Jimmy Fiala, and they do an amazing job, and they're totally dedicated to the Texas 4000 as well. So at the fundraiser dinner, the writers get to tell their stories, and it makes a huge impact on all of the guests at the dinner. And I think we end up getting pretty good donations, from that dinner. So we're really proud of that.
You really do.
Then on the next day, that's their ride out day. They ride down to the St. Louis Arch. And if a lot of you don't know what the arch is, it's a 650-foot arch, literally, on our riverfront. And so the riders ride down there, and we have other SenseCorp people that ride with them, and other guests and friends of SenseCorp that ride down to the arch with them. Once we're down there, I got to tell you something. It's happened the last 2 or 3 years. I actually get choked up a little bit. Sorry about that. You know the impact that 26 riders make that are all dressed the same, and they're riding through downtown St. Louis, and they're riding onto the arch grounds right in front of the riverfront. Well, it's a huge tourist spot. So there are a lot of people from St. Louis and from out of town that just walk along the arch grounds and walk along the riverfront. So the riders were all down there, kind of huddled around, and this dad and his 2 kids were walking by, and they were just kind of stopping, and I was just watching them, and they just stopped, and they were just like staring at, kind of talking to her like, who are these people? What are they doing? So they went up to a couple of the riders and just started talking to them, and the riders just started doing their thing and just telling them who they are and what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I mean, the father was just like, the expression on his face was just unforgettable. And so they walked away. They went on their way, but when they walked past me, I could hear, the father, and the kids were probably like maybe 7 and 9, 6 and 8, something like that. And just what the dad was saying, he's like, now this is something, we'll never forget this for the rest of our lives. We realize what these people are doing, and it was just incredible. So I just got to say, all right, sorry, I'm rambling.
Well, thank you for sharing. I know it is an incredible undertaking what SenseCorp does, what you do, and enlisting everyone at the company and in the community to support the riders when they come to town. I will say you're the shining star for what hosts do when people come to town. It's the example for everybody. I know, and we don't ask hosts normally to do that. You go well above and beyond for the riders every year, and we so appreciate it. And I know they do, because they always talk about it after they visit St. Louis. Like, wow, they had everything covered, every meal covered. They had bicycle mechanics. Everything was just there and ready for them. They didn't have to think of a thing. So thank you, Keith. Thank you, Lisa, for just heading that up and getting everybody involved.
And Lisa may have sold herself short just a tad. I think she takes a breath for one day and then starts planning again.
Getting ready for the next year.
I never like leaving things to the last minute.
Exactly.
Well, Keith, also, I have another question for you. I know, you were impressed with getting to meet Chris and learning about the organization, and you've had a long period with the organization, been a board member with the organization, continue to support. You've also hired T4Kers, folks who finished the ride, who've gone on into the corporate world. And I'm just wondering if you might be able to say, what drew you to hiring them? What do you think comes with them being in our leadership program? What do they bring as an added value to a company? If you might be able to elaborate a little bit on your experience with riders.
Yeah, sure. As with, I think, any corporate entity, what we're looking for are people that are great to work with, that have great communication skills and understand how to how to break down and solve problems, and usually not just by yourself, but in a collaborative fashion. I think I just outlined every single day in a rider's life in the Texas 4000. And I'm not just talking about the ride, right? I mean, if you think about everything that leads up to that ride, all the organization, all of the fundraising, all of the team formation, that is head and shoulders above what almost anybody else I know experiences and gets to learn in their college career. So I think the whole experience makes them very attractive to any corporate client. And our experience, of course, has been extremely positive.
Well, that's great to hear. And I say the same thing when I visit with other corporations, or even when I've gone out on the summer ride. I've sat with the CEO at Ochsner Health when he talks to these same riders on this route. And he says to every one of them sitting around the conference table, I'd hire any of you because you're the type of people I want working here at this organization.
That's exactly right.
That's always great to hear. And you have that personal experience with them.
Scott, I hate to interrupt, but you were talking about Texas 4000 Scorpions. We have one that just started yesterday.
You do?
Annie Henson started yesterday.
That's awesome. That's great new news.
She was in the 2018.
Yeah.
I think she rode in 2018.
Well, that is awesome. So, Lisa, I had just one quick question. Last question to you is just, if you were to say to anybody watching today why they should host, what would that be? What would be your reasons for why they should host?
Because overall, it's really fun, and it might seem daunting or, just like out of control, too much work, but it's not, because you have so many people that once you tell the story, they want to help, so it really does lighten up the load a lot. And just overall, I mean, you'd want to host because once you just talk to all the writers and you hear, like, again, their stories and the whole Texas 4000 story, how could you not want to help them? Once you hear they're going 4,500 miles, I mean, who does that? Who does that?
Wow.
It's like, wow. I mean, I can't even imagine going 50 miles, much less 4,500 miles, and for such a good cause, so what I would say to people, go ahead and host, because you're never going to regret it, period. It'll make you feel so good, and you will want to do it every year for sure.
I think that's great advice. I'm going to open the floor up just to the writers. So see if they have any questions. Claire, Sia, Lindsay, is there anything you have a question about for our wonderful host in St. Louis, or anything you'd like to say to them? We'll just kind of go around really quickly. Claire?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you for everything you do to Texas 4000. I was personally looking forward to St. Louis because I've heard stories about how impactful that trip is. And so while I'm sad we can't be there in person this year, I think it's great that we can still, connect virtually, have this conversation this morning. So thank you for being here. I guess my question for you is, I know you've already shared a lot about some of the past years, but are there any other moments that really stick out in your mind that remind you with specific riders during their visit?
Keith, is
I
something
have
jump
to
out
say,
to you?
after 5 years, that we're talking over 100 riders.
Yeah.
But there was one my second year, I think it was, and unfortunately I don't remember her name, but she and another girl, they just really made an impact on me. They were smart. They were just, their dedication, just the way they spoke. I can't explain it, but it just really, really impacted me a lot, and really kind of made me even dive a little further deeper into the organization. I can't. Those are things that I'm not good about, communicating, unfortunately.
Keith, is there anything that stands out to you from all the visits and riders that you've met?
There are so many. I've been in many Atlas rides, and I've gone to various cities and hosted. But the first year, my son and I transported our bicycles up to Anchorage, and we rode the last 2 days with the riders going into Anchorage. And if you don't know it, there's a mountain pass just 2 days away. And so we were riding up this mountain pass, and what I remember is all of the riders easily, almost riding backwards up the hill because they've been riding for 58 days at that point. They'd ride by and wonder why I was sucking in so much. But being there for the final event in Anchorage was a lifetime memory, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, I thank you both for joining us today. I'm going to pull onto the screen just so you can see your compadres at Sense Corp. There's Wes and Jonathan on bikes, biking away hard. I just want to say personally, thank you so much for Sense Corp's continued support, not just Texas 4000, but all of these riders over the years, and your commitment to the fight against cancer. I know it goes well beyond the two of you on the screen. I've met the employees in Austin and in St. Louis, and they're just amazing people who just open their hearts, their homes to these riders every year. And I just can't thank you enough for continuing to do that. And also for hiring them and seeing what amazing people they are and bringing them into your Sense Corp family from our T4K family. So thank you so much.
Scott, I'd like to thank you and the organization. The way that you've been able to pivot is indicative of the curveballs that are thrown at you in the fight with cancer. And the way this organization has adapted and showing the value, I think is a tribute to the heritage and the future of the organization. So thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, and we owe it to these young people on the screen, the others over on Zoom, and the whole team. They took that disappointment and turned it into something that continues the fight against cancer, and I applaud them. It just shows, again, what amazing people they are, and I know what great things they're going to do in life.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. We wish you well in St. Louis, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, ladies, back to you and some comments here I'm going to pull up on the screen. I hope you enjoyed getting to visit with the folks from Sense Corp for a little bit and just hearing how they've supported the Texas 4000 team and your route, the Ozarks route.
Hi, Michael.
Well, definitely, yeah. Go.
Definitely.
Yes.
We've got some other, looks like a shout out as well to see you again.
Thank you.
Well,
I did, yeah.
Sorry, you were going to go ahead and say something?
Oh, yeah. I was just going to, I wanted to thank Lisa and Pete for joining us. I think as travel, we still get to see some of the behind the scenes work on what it takes to host, but hearing their perspective and just hearing like how much work goes into hosting us is really inspiring. And I really wish that we could be there with them this summer, but I know that this is still a wonderful opportunity and they'll continue to be a wonderful part of our Texas 4000 family.
You're completely correct. Your journey for your route, much less all three routes, involves more than 200 plus hosts every year. And, that is just an amazing undertaking that these communities open up their hearts, their homes, their businesses to support you every year. We thank them for joining today to share that experience and inspire others to get involved with the organization to support future rides when we are headed back across the country. It looks like you got some more support here.
It's for everyone.
You've got everybody watching this morning. See,
I'm pretty sure if we biked through San Antonio, my parents would want to host and the whole family would be here. They've been supporting me for 4 years. They love all of my teams. They love y'all so much.
Well, we love them as well as an extension of our T4K family. All the parents, everyone involved makes up our big T4K family. I'm going to jump over I want to, we're getting close to, we're less than 10 minutes away from the end of the hour. I do want to touch on a couple other things that I just think people would love to hear about. It's just, what we support as an organization. I know you've already had some opportunities in this virtual ride to talk some of the cancer support service organizations and possibly we visited already this year a research organization that we support through grants. But Lindsay, if you might want to just share a little bit about that, and then certainly we can come to Sia or Claire too if you have something to add to it.
Yeah, we get to grant out money all along our ride. It works a little differently. So actually we are granting out the money that the prior year raised, and their grant committee decided which different hospitals and which different cancer research and care centers get that money all along our route. So Ozarks, one of the things I was most looking forward to was that we would get to go to MD Anderson and grant out money to them. That's the research and care center where my dad was treated. So it holds a really special place in my heart, as I know many of my fellow writers have had people they love treated there. So I was looking forward to that day. I know it's always really impactful both for us as writers, and I think for the researchers who work there, getting to talk with Oshner in Louisiana, BC, like it's something that they also look forward to. Having all these young people come in, we're really energetic, maybe too energetic sometimes, but hopefully that brings them kind of a bright spot as we get to talk to them and hear about all the medical advancements they're making and things like that. It's really a good day.
Yeah, I know Lisa, who was just talking a little while ago, helps arrange 3 visits for your route while you're in St. Louis to visit with cancer research and support service organizations in their community, and that you visit them over the routes. And we support over the 3 routes with grants to various organizations. And you had an opportunity already as a route to talk to the folks from Oshner. We actually had them on our big Saturday broadcast to everyone as well. They were an organization that stepped up as their community faced COVID on top of cancer fighting, and just to hear how their doctors continue to serve those being faced with cancer in the midst of COVID as well was inspiring to just see and hear how they're reacting and helping support the cancer community.
Yes.
Sia,
really exciting.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lindsay.
I just want to say it was really exciting to hear how they're using telemedicine, and it's, necessity is the mother of invention, and so I'm hopeful that this telemedicine will continue on in the future and provide safer care for people, but also better access to care is something Oshner was talking about. They worked hard to provide access to care for patients from far away from treatment centers, but through telemedicine, they have a chance to access even more people.
Yeah, that was very interesting as part of the call. And then I think that's where we've all gone. Here we are virtually here. Each one of you were not in the same place, but we're able to come together and find a way. And we were all forced in a very short time to figure out a way to do that and continue our communication and for them to carry on medical treatment. And, I think that is, like you said, something that's going to continue on after this, that we were forced to do something, and now we know it. We can do it. And now how can we do it even better?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that, that, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. So there we go. We're coming up on the last few minutes here. Sia, I just want to go around one more time and just allow you to say whatever you'd like to say in closing. If there's any other shout outs, we'll bring everybody back up on screen as we can see them. And just to let you say a few words in closing.
Yeah, I definitely want to thank all my family for waking up early. I know it's like 9 a.m., 8 a.m., wherever you guys are, but I really appreciate it. And I know my team does as well. Kind of to the last question, I also just wanted to add that something we support as an organization is local and just like volunteering events throughout our community in Austin. So even while we're not on the route, we still find ways to support organizations that contribute to cancer research or support services. A few that I can think of right now, we volunteered with Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'm volunteering with them right now. Mama Jamma Ride, Live Strong, things like that. And that just means that's like, those volunteering events have been some of my favorite things to do as part of Texas 4000. I just wanted to like shout out that experience and say that I'm really grateful for it.
I couldn't agree more. All those organizations that you support during the ride year before you even leave the Austin community, supporting all of them with volunteerism, which is much needed. I know they love you guys because there's so many of you. When it comes to big events, they always have trouble pulling together, and we come with a huge group every time. Claire, is there anything in parting you'd like to say as well?
Yeah, I just want to echo something that Keith said at the end of that conversation there. Not to toot our own horn or anything, but I think he's right in that the way that we've kind of bounced back from the cancellation of the ride and decided to take this virtual to keep everyone safe speaks volumes about this organization. And I'm so proud to be a part of it and to be able to support the fight against cancer in this way. So yeah, I thank everyone who supports us, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, thanks, Claire. We're proud of you too. Lindsay, you get the final words here before we end the day.
Yeah, I think this kind of virtual environment it's a little bit bittersweet.
Yeah.
Hearing about the hosts in St. Louis and all the amazing things that they do. I'm sad that we're not there, but it just makes me so excited for the 2021 team. So I hope to see really strong support come out for them as we get back on our bikes and get back on our routes. I think that they'll have a really amazing year. I'm sure a lot of hosts are probably sad that we're not coming through this year. So I'm excited for 2021 to kind of reap just a lot of love through this.
I agree with you. And I'd just like to, as kind of the last thing here, again, if you've enjoyed the ride dedication broadcast and the cycling broadcast this morning, if you're watching, you can go to texas4000.org and make a donation to the 2020 team. Support the fight against cancer. Money goes to support cancer research and support service organizations and these amazing young people who travel across the country, spreading hope, knowledge, and charity, talking about cancer awareness and prevention in communities, in the things that people can do in their own lives to make sure that cancer doesn't affect them or affect a loved one. I just, again, applaud all of you and your commitment to continuing this in the virtual realm, and look forward to seeing you again back on here. We've come to the end of the hour, so we're going to bless and release all of you back to other activities for the day. So Claire, Lindsay, Sia, thank you so much. Thank you to all of your teammates on the Zoom call. And we are going to wrap things up here. And we welcome people to come back tomorrow for ride dedications and for the cycling in the evening on Wednesday evening starting at 8 p.m. So if you're wanting to tune in, go to texas4000.org and check out the schedule. It is on the homepage right below the broadcast window. So if you didn't, people don't get to watch it live, they can always go back and watch it even afterwards. So share with family and friends, post this broadcast, share it on social media. Thank you, ladies, and we will see you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good afternoon.